She put back on her baby voice, because y'all noticed when she was getting into with Andre, baby voice was gone. I said baby voice didn't come down to the reunion. She told Andre and everybody she didn't come to play at the reunion. But then when she was talking about Blue, and she thought Blue was still up for grabs, she's like, Blue is just, he's just a wonderful man. He's just ready for marriage. Like, he would make such a good husband, He's just that guy that just, I just want that guy to run after the field to me, take charge. And Blue is just really that guy, he's a protector. He's a great man. I was like, girl, if you don't get that cap off for Blue, please get the cap off for Blue. And let me tell you, she took it off when Kayla came out. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows, y'all. It's Friday night, so we are talking Owns Ready to Love. This is season 7. I feel far away. Episode 14, I think it is. It's the reunion part 1, y'all. We gonna get into it because it was good. Okay, before we do anything, y'all, thank you for hitting that subscribe button. We have passed the 250 mark. I forgot to tell y'all in the last couple videos. So thank y'all for making that happen. Now we gotta, keep climbing, growing this channel. Let's get to 300. Let's make it happen. I just appreciate y'all's support. Y'all don't know what it means to me. Also, don't forget to comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of the reunion. Whose fashions you liked. Were you here for all the drama of it all? Because it was definitely giving. I feel like the reunion was given a bit more than the whole season. Was it just me? Do y'all think so? Drop it in the comments. Also, don't forget to share the video. Also, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, okay? We got to hit that thumbs up. We got to push it down to the algorithms, okay? Anyway, also, y'all, I forgot to mention all month that it is my birthday, actually, April 26th. So in less than 2 weeks, I will be turning the big 35. I'm excited about that. I'm planning to go see Usher in Vegas, so I'm super excited about that. I've never been one to promote my Cash App on social media, but I was thinking maybe I will do it on the YouTube channel this go round. Maybe some people out there that want to show me love. So if you do want to show me love, a little birthday gift, I would definitely appreciate it. Not required. Even if you just put happy birthday down in the comments, I appreciate that as well. My Cash App is $Queen B Yvonne. Again, that's $Queen B Yvonne. So that's a capital Q on the Queen, a capital B, and then a capital Y on Yvonne. I will put it on the screen as well. But yeah, celebrate your girl's birthday. Excuse me if I sound a little congested. I'm having bad allergies and stuff going on. So hopefully after this video, I can get some rest. I still got to catch up on Love is Blind, but we'll get to all that. Let's get to this reunion, y'all. First of all, let's talk about the looks. One thing about the reunion I wish we could see everybody standing up more. I didn't get a chance to look on Google to look at all the looks. Mercedes looked cute. I love that Diana Ross, glam soul thing she was giving with the hair and the beaded dress. I didn't like the bottom of Jeffri's dress, but I didn't mind that Storm look, Ice Queen look she had with that wig. I was not minding that on Jeffri. It just fits Jeffri, in my opinion, of who Jeffri is. I'm not sure about Janique's dress and them feathers. Her hair was cool though. I was expecting a tad bit more from Marcia, but maybe I need to see the look standing up. Her hair is always, whipped up, and I know she makes her clothes. I'm not sure if she made her reunion dress or not. Z's look, I gotta see head to toe. I liked Morgan's look, the color of her dress and everything, and it looked unique. I loved Corvette's look, her ponytail, the dress, the cut of it. I really liked her look for sure. Sue Ann's dress was cute and kind of different as well. Cynthia's dress was I was expecting a little bit more from her. Also, okay. Couldn't really get into Natasha's dress. I gotta look at it online or something. The men, I wasn't feeling Tony's prom look. I'm sorry. Andre, it's a no for me. Where were you going? The capri pants was a no. Anthony looked good, very sharp. Mario was trying to show a little chest, so I was like, you ain't got the body of Mark Anthony, but he looked nice. Mark Anthony had all his buttons down in here. He looked nice as well. Blake looked very nice, and who else did we have? I like Lyndon's look. I really did like Lyndon's look. It just fit him really well. He knows how to wear his clothes well. Lyndon kind of walks to the beat of his own drum, and he's confident in that. That's what I think I like about Lyndon, okay? So let's get into, oh, and Blue and his bow tie. That was cute. Let's get into it all. So Nephew Tommy talks about how, you know, we find in love in the 305. And, you know, he talks about the curveball. The major curveball this season was the ability to do the second chance lifeline. And so they showed all the clips of everybody debating and arguing back and forth about that. So you remember the ladies had saved Mark Anthony, but the men chose not to save Johnnique. And they talked about, you know, what they thought of the lifeline and all that. And the women wished that the men would have used the lifeline, and they were all, Lyndon was like, it was really hard because Tommy, you said we all had to be unanimous, that was your rules, and we didn't know what to do. And I think Morgan or somebody's like, hey man, should have stayed Johnnique, she didn't deserve to go home, she should have stayed. I was like, yeah, she should have went home. Who was Johnnique connecting with? Where was Johnnique's man on that show? Johnnique's man was not on that show, so I wasn't mad at them not saving Johnnique and going home. I was mad at it because they saved Mark Anthony, and I feel like the men didn't support the women in the way that the women supported them. Now, that's the part I was upset about. But at the end of the day, Johnnique didn't have no man there, so she could have went. Bye. So, Nephew Tommy was like, black people, when you play spades, you can play the big joker first, which is true, you can. You really can, and go and get your book, right? So, it is what it is. Then we get to Jeffri's package. So, Nephew Tommy talked about how Jeffri has so many options in the process and what she had going on. So they showed all her packages, you know, where she liked Mark Anthony, then she liked Andre, then Andre left, then she liked Andre when he came back. She liked DeMario. Then, you know, he had to go. Then she liked Blue and all that. Okay, so Nephew Tommy asked Jeffri, what is it about these men you connected with? She liked how Mark Anthony just was like a take charge, bold kind of person. She liked Blue and his personality. She feels like he's just marriage material. I'm like, girl, stop it. And then he was like, okay, so what about Andre made you just finally settle on Andre? So she's like, And there's a long pause. And Nephew Tommy was like, oh, that pause, them pauses be loud. We can hear it loud and clear. So he was like, what's going on with you and Andre now? What does that pause mean? So Jeffri said, y'all, after filming, she hit up Andre like, okay, you know, I'm about to be down there. So where does Jeffri live? Sounds like everybody didn't live down in Miami. I was hearing some stuff about that in social media too. So Jeffri didn't, I guess she didn't live down in Miami. So she was going to be down there for an event. She hit him up. He didn't hit her back. They didn't get together. They lost contact communication. Y'all know how the story goes. So she felt like Andre was looking for an out and an excuse to get out of the situation, and he used her kids. And so Andre was like, there were some things he didn't know about that was something clear to him. And Jeffri was like, my kids. So Nephew Tommy was like, you keep saying your kids. And so Andre basically said he had a problem with the situation with Jeffri and her baby daddies, or the children, the father of her children, and he didn't know the full situation. Now people were saying, well, Andre, you know, he didn't go on the group date with Blue and Mark Anthony where Jeffri explained the situation with the father of her children to them. And we didn't see him get that explained to him on camera. I don't care what we saw on camera because we know that they communicate and date and do things off camera. So there was plenty of time, and you knew this woman had 2 kids, and that she had to have 2 fathers of those kids. So at the end of the day, you still could have asked questions, whether it was on camera or off camera. I'm not giving him he didn't know. You could have asked questions. You failed not to ask questions. You just saw Jeffri and all the femininity and the baby voice, and you were just going with that, and that's what it was. And nobody did their homework. Okay, y'all too busy talking about biblical husbands and Boaz. Y'all need to stop. So he's like, you know, I asked her, what's the situation with the 2 guys, and she gave me all these different excuses, and I was like, I'm not buying it. At the end of the day, the kids are not saying they don't want to see their father. It's just not adding up. Something's not making sense to me. And Jeffri was like, there's a lot of black men out there who do not take care of their kids. This happens all the time, every day. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I can't make them want to see the kids. And so then Tony was like, I ain't gonna let you do that. Like, don't say all the black men don't take care of their kids. Like, that's not true. That's not true. Now, I can give them that, and that's not the thing with all black men. They could say a lot of men in general, because they ain't just black men. There's other races who don't take care of their kids too, okay? So Nephew Tommy was saying, how about we say not all black men? Okay, so, and then I think it was Morgan or somebody was piping up like, that's her truth, that's her truth. Okay, granted, it is her truth. Now, I'm not taking nothing from it. So there are men who don't take care of their children, but we don't need to say all black men or this happens all the time kind of thing. Because there's black men on that stage who do take care of their kids, okay, that have kids. So like Blue talked about his kid. Anthony always talked about his kid. Tony has 2 kids. I'm assuming he take good care of them. So, but we don't really know. So anyway, Andre and Jeffri was going back and forth a little bit. Andre was like, at the end of the day, like, you know, I was blindsided, all this stuff. Jeffri was like, no, that's not it. Nah. So, Nephew Tommy was like, safe to say, you know, these 2 didn't work out. So backstage, because y'all know it's another show backstage, right? I think it was Morgan was consoling Jeffri, like, girl, he didn't know what he had, and you, girl. I'm like, I guess. And then Andre is telling Tony, like, I'm mad because she's not telling the truth. Like, she stopped communicating with me. She stopped, you know, coming after me and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, there it go. There it go. What it was is they truly didn't know each other. They truly didn't know each other. So anyway, we already knew. Andre did exactly what I knew Andre was going to do, okay? And I'm glad that he didn't pick Cynthia and do this to her and waste Cynthia's time. And Cynthia, I hope you're seeing all this, girl, because I already knew Andre was going to waste time. We already knew it. I called it. So anywho, moving on, we get to Corvette's package, okay? Remember, they was calling Corvette a gold digger and all that. I didn't have no problem with what Corvette was saying. I think she could have articulated it in a better way, though. I get what she was saying. I totally agree. She just could have talked about it a different way. So they showed her a package, and they were talking about the whole, how she told Mark Anthony she going to be spoiled. And so he was saying how, like, he didn't really like that because being someone who's spoiled is like a child who you just give everything to and they didn't earn it, and that's not good. So that's why he didn't like that word spoiled she used. And so she said that just shows how we have 2 different upbringings, because for her family came from really humble beginnings, nothing, you know, they were poor, and now she has doctors in their family, and, you know, they've really risen above their circumstances. So it's like a privilege to just be able to spoil your kids now. Now I get what she's saying. It's like, when you have generational wealth and you finally make it and you're well off, like, it's okay to give your kids things. It's okay to put them in private school. It's okay to, like, now it's a difference between making sure they have all the best of things and spoiling. Spoiling them is just giving them everything and not teaching them the value of hard work and that they do have to work to earn things. But there's nothing wrong with helping your kids. And I feel like in some of our minority communities, especially the Black community, sometimes we want to make our kids go through the struggle even when we don't have to, okay? So I get what Corvette is saying. I get what Mark Anthony was saying as well. Like I said, I think it's just the way it's articulated. So, you know, Lyndon mentions how Corvette, you know, was saying about how he felt some type of way because she didn't like the fact that he had the roommate and all that. And she's like, and when she was talking about her expensive shoes, and it made him feel some type of way, and she was talking about he needed to be in therapy. The girls backstage was like, yep, yes you do, yes you do. I'm like, y'all need to stop. So she was like, you know, if you got offended by what I said, that's a reflection of you, not a reflection on me. Like, I'm saying, like, when I meet, you know, the guy that's for me, she's like, yeah, I want somebody who's financially well off. I want to, you know, build generational wealth. I want to make sure my mental is good. So yeah, you need to have it financially together. You need to, a man who's serious about dating me is serious about their finances and have their finances together on a serious level. I agree. Okay. Now, Lyndon's thing is, you just met me and you're already telling me I need to go to therapy. You're already saying this and that. Yeah, not right, Corvette. Like I said, I think it's just the way she comes across. But I totally agree. Like, yeah, if you're going to approach me, you need to have it together. You need to be in your career already. Like I said, I'm about to be 35. You need to have some level of togetherness. Like, we should not still be on the struggle bus. So love, okay? So anyway, that was her thing. And so then he also didn't like the fact that Jeffri told him that Corvette said that he tried to kiss her. And so she was like, what? Like, I never said that. Like, what you talking about? So Jeffri backstage was like, oh, wait a minute, I done heard my name. So then, you know, they cut the commercial and all that. And we come back and we have Lyndon's package, right? So Lyndon talks about, you know, they talk about his thing with Morgan and how ultimately it didn't work out. And so Morgan was like, what can I say about Lyndon? He's a unicorn. They showed Tony's face, y'all. Tony looked so irritated. But she's like, ultimately, you know, Lyndon and I were just in different places in life. Jeffri Tommy asked, you know, what was it about Morgan that he liked? He said, what, you know, even though Morgan could come off, you know, a little whatever, but she aggressive, whatever word he used. You know, she was honest no matter what, and he really liked that about her. The thing that I guess Morgan felt, he said that it was always changing. Like Morgan would be like, oh yeah, I'm really feeling Tony more, because Tony went after her more, like with more passion, like claimed her more. And so that's, I think, ultimately why she picked Tony, and she did explain that later on when they got to their package, right? And so Nephew Tommy asked, you know, did you feel intimidated by the connection that Tony and Morgan had? And see, he's like, yeah, of course I felt intimidated because, you know, they had this, you know, whatever they had going on, and he felt like they didn't have the same thing and all that good stuff. And so then they asked him, was he dating somebody? And he said yes. And he said, you know, he's not one to open up, and this process has taught him to open up. Oh, they also talked about the Marcia thing and the kiss thing. And Marcia apologized, and Nephew Tommy asked Marcia, why did you, you know, do that, not let him kiss you? And she was like, it just caught me off guard. Like, Lyndon's a hard one to open up. So I was like, whoa, what's going on? Like, why is he doing that? And they laughed and joked about it. And Blake said, yeah, typical Lyndon fashion. After he did it, he came and told us, like, yeah, I read the room wrong with that one. And so they all laughed it off. And so then Corvette, like, Marcia, girl, did I tell you that, did I tell you that Lyndon tried to kiss me? Like, what's up with that? And then she was like, yeah, I remember the same thing I told you he did to you. Like, you know, I guess he does like the kiss on the double cheek to people, like as a greeting. I think it was more of a greeting, and maybe Corvette took it the wrong way. It got real weird and messy, right? So then Corvette was like, okay, I don't remember that. Maybe it was our date. And she apologized to Lyndon. She's like, I don't want you to think something, you know, was said based off of what another girl said, what Jeffri said. I don't want you to think I was over here chatting about you. Like, you know, you cool. I got respect for you. He's like, thank you. So Jeffri was like, hold up, girl. Because my name is being brought up. I didn't say anything about Corvette. That Corvette said kissing. Like, it was said. She's like, I didn't say anything wrong. She basically said it was said in the women's lounge. She was just saying it was in the lounge. And so Corvette was like, that still was messy because you saying what was said in the lounge. So the first time I watched it, I was confused. Was y'all confused the first time y'all watched it? I was like, so who said what? Who we supposed to be mad at? What the hell's going on? But then when I watched it back the second or third time, because y'all know I watched the shows a couple times to get on this review for y'all, then I understood it as, what I understood it as, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, is that Corvette said he tried to kiss her in the women's deliberations, and Marcia's like, girl, don't do that. And then Jeffri just took the information and ran it back to Lyndon. That's what it sounded like to me when I, you know, took everything and put it together. Anyway, that was stupid. So, then we get to the package about Blue, okay? So, Blue in his blue suit and his blue bow tie, you know, Nephew Tommy was talking about, you know, Blue, we're going to talk about nice guys finish last. To me, Blue wasn't a nice guy. I didn't take him as that. I knew he had something going on. I already knew he had something to him. I already called it, okay? So, he liked them little young girls. So, he was like, you know, it soon began hard to figure out Blue's clues. I was like, Nephew Tommy, stop it. So anyway, they show his package and all that. So they asked the women, you know, about Blue and all that good stuff. So I think Jonique went first, y'all. And they asked Jonique, oh no, because they talking about the monkey. Let me backtrack, sorry. They was talking about the monkey. I forgot the name of or the type of the monkey he has. But he said you got to have a permit, buy a permit to have it. Blue got money, y'all. They said you got to buy a permit to have it. So he wanted the monkey. He bought the permit. When people buy stupid stuff like that, you know they got money. Okay, they can just waste and throw around. So he bought the permit and got the monkey. So they was like, Marcia, you like monkeys, girl? She was like, I do. Jerry's like on Instagram. She's like, but you know, I just want to see them on FaceTime. I don't like them in person. They scare me. Backstage, Cynthia said she had a monkey. They was like, girl, what? So Then I think they asked Jonique what was it about Blue. So she's like, Blue seemed like a nice guy. He seemed like a sweet guy. He seemed like a caring guy. He seemed like a good guy. So nephew Tom's like, oh, you said seemed. So what you mean? Is there a change? Like, girl, what's good? And so she was like, well, like I found out that Blue was trying to date. Okay, let me explain it right. Blue was trying to date Jonique outside the process. And so when she got eliminated, he was like, oh, good. Now me and you could just date and that's it. And so she was like, well, I really agree with that because that's good for you, but who's to say that's what's best for me? Like, she still want to be in the process and not just date him. Like, so no, that ain't good for her. So, and I forgot the timeline. Who went home first? No, Jonique went home before Blue. So Blue was going to date Jonique outside. So Blue was going to break the rules. He was going to pull a Tony because Jonique went home before Blue. So he was happy Jonique went home, and then he was going to be dating Jonique on the side while he's still on the show in the process. We see you, Blue. We see you. So then she didn't like all that. She said she spoke to all the men. Blue did not want to use the second chance lifeline on her. He was the one that was the vote because they had to have a unanimous vote. He was the one who was not voting to save her. Everybody else was. And so then he was like, no, that was not the case. Everybody voted to save the homegirl. And that's what it was. And so backstage, it was like, nah. The men was getting rowdy. It was like, nah. Blue was the only one who was not trying to save Jonique. That's who we were trying to save. So the men was like, nah. So I'm like, ooh, where's the truth? Where's the truth, Blue? Where's the truth? Blue got away to him. So anyway, Jonique was just not feeling that. And so then nephew Tommy asked Jeffri a question about Blue and does she think that if he would have been more I think it was if he would have been more aggressive, does she think he would have had a better chance, make better connections on the show? Marks, he was like, yes. He talking all out of turn, Marcia. So Jeffri was like, Blue was just, she put back on her baby voice because y'all noticed when she was getting into with Andre, baby voice was gone. I said baby voice didn't come down to the reunion. She told Andre and everybody she didn't come to play at the reunion. But then when she was talking about Blue and she thought Blue was still up for grabs, she's like, Blue is just, he's just a wonderful man. He's just ready for marriage. Like, he would make such a good husband, He's just that guy that just, I just want that guy to run after the field to me, take charge. And Blue is just really that guy, he's a protector. He's a great man. I was like, girl, if you don't get that cap off for Blue, please get the cap off for Blue. And let me tell you, she took it off when Kayla came out. So nephew Tommy was like, what's going on with you now? So, nephew Tommy, finds out Blue is dating somebody. He was like, yeah, nephew Tommy about to throw a curveball to the reunion. Can I throw the curveball to the reunion? They was like, what's up, Tommy? So he was like, we gonna bring out somebody y'all know from last season of Ready to Love Miami. We gonna bring out Kayla. So they did a whole montage package of some of Kayla's moments from last season. I said, why is Kayla getting the moment in this season Ready to Love when she was from last season? I don't want to see Kayla's moment. I want to see these people moment. Why are we giving Kayla all this? It was giving too much. And Kayla, she cool. I like Kayla and all, but it was just too much. Like, just bring her out. We don't need to give her a whole package. So anyway, Kayla came out. She came out with a little air to her. Did y'all notice that? So anyway, when she came out, Jeffri scooted on over. She was like, all that husbandry went on out the window with Jeffri, okay? So then they were talking about how they met at a pool party. They've been dating like 3 months, y'all. They met at a pool party, and Blue said, yeah, basically he went for what he want, okay? So Z was over there like, okay, that's interesting. I'm very shocked. I'm surprised based on the conversations me and Blue had recently. Kayla was like, Blue talks to a lot of people. I said, that was nasty and not necessary. It really was not necessary, girl. I noticed Blue got a type. Do y'all see that? So, y'all should have saw Jeffri's face when that production was shady. When they panned to Jeffri's face when he was talking about him and Kayla's relationship, she was like, Jeffri was looking like, I guess this ain't gonna be a second chance with Blue, because she thought she was gonna slide over there to Blue, but it ain't gonna work, okay? So anyway, because he taking my Kayla. So next Tommy was like, what's up, Z? What you got to say, girl? So she was like, based on, me and Blue had some recent conversations, I'm very shocked. I'm not gonna, damper or anybody's stuff. I'm just very shocked. And you know, wish y'all the best. And so she's like, if it's genuine, you know, if it's real, then that's good for y'all. Janique was like, why wouldn't it be genuine? Kayla was like, that's a good question. And so, if you told me, asked, you know, was this, you know, the track for love for Blue? He said, oh yeah, we definitely on track for love. Z was like, oh Lord, like Z was like, Z had the tea. I was like, Z, spill the tea. Z, if you watch my videos, Z, I should find Z on social media, DM her. I should be like, girl, what's the tea, Z? What's the tea? Okay. So they was talking about how they be staying at each other's house. She's got a side of the bed. And every time I was like, oh, she got a side of the bed. She done met the cat and all that good stuff. Okay, so then we get backstage. They was like, y'all wished her the best. Everybody's like, yeah, Z was slow to get her clap, and she gave it. Then we get backstage, right? And we see Z and Blue talking. Z was like, you did not tell me you and her got more serious. He was like, yeah, we made it official like a month ago. Yeah, we're in a relationship now. And so she's like, okay, well, if Kayla knew about the conversation that me and you had recently, I don't think she would be happy about that. I said, what's the conversation, girl? Z, I'm gonna need you to tell it. Okay, you only got one life to live. Tell it. But anyway, maybe she'll tell it on Twitter or something. Somebody who interviewed with Z and help her to tell it. So, because she didn't tell it on her interview with Crystal XO, but it would have been too soon because that was way before the reunion, y'all. Anyway, then he said something like he got to go or something. And then she was like, yeah, that's fine. She was like, yeah, because I know the truth. I said, well, what's the truth, Z? So I guess Blue was on there talking to Z outside the process and telling her something. He was telling her lies. He was telling her lies. And then he's trying to date Janique outside the process. Blue, we see you and we don't like it. I don't like it over here. He wasn't no nice guy finishing last. He was an undercover player, okay? And he liked them young girls because them girls look way too young to be with Blue. Kayla looking too young to be with Blue. Janique and Blue, that is not a match. No, that don't even make sense. Z makes the most sense to me. I don't know how Z looked too young for him too, but to me, Z would like a more mature man. Maybe Kayla do too. Well, Mike was older than Kayla, so I guess. I don't know. Blue got money, so I ain't mad at y'all. Whatever. Wish y'all the best. So, side note, y'all. I had put on Twitter, you know, follow me on Twitter at Brandy Yvonne. I was like, ain't Kayla moving to San Francisco? So is they even still together? Because I seen on her YouTube channel. I follow her on YouTube. And one of her videos was titled something about moving to San Francisco. So I was like, they moving. So she moved to San Francisco. They ain't together. But then she retweeted me back. She wrote me back saying that was, no, she's not moving to San Francisco. That she put, laugh my ass off. That was just the title of a blog post. So I was like, my bad, girl. Glad it worked out for you. Okay, so my bad. I was wrong. So also, side note, I saw on Twitter, somebody put that Blue is in federal prison now. I was like, so I asked them, like, is that true? But they didn't write me back. So I'm going to get the tea on that. And hopefully I'll have it for y'all for the next video and see if he really is. If y'all know anything about Blue being locked up, let me know. Allegedly, because I don't know that he's locked up. I heard allegedly that Blue was in federal prison, but I don't know that to be true. I saw it on Twitter, okay? Allegedly. Don't be suing me over here. I don't know. So anyway, like I said, allegedly. So then, let's see. We got to the package with, I think we got the package with Fabrice. This was unnecessary and a waste of my time. What about Mercedes and Mac Anthony? Okay, because they was booed up whole reunion. Did y'all catch that? What about Cynthia and Anthony? Like, let's get into it. I don't have time for the fabric of my life. So Fabrice couldn't even come down to the reunion, y'all. He had to zoom it in. So they had him on the screen. And he was talking about, you know, after the show, now he dating somebody else and he's really happy he found love, and he feels like, you know, the women be talking about sex and they just acting like they don't want to be talking about sex. He was trying to loosen up the mood with the conversation, but nobody was feeling it, and he came in the process asking, you know, he want to know who hooked up with who, what's up. Everybody backstage is like, oh yeah, he want to just talk about sex. He want to talk about sex. So, you know, everybody wished him good luck, and DeMario said backstage that when Fabrice first came on the show, he first met her, he said, so who you effing? I was like, I already know that's true. So anyway, good luck to Fabrice and all he does, right? So then we move on to, I believe, the package with Sue Ann and Blake, okay? Shout out to Sue Ann, y'all. I know we gave Sue Ann a hard time, but Sue Ann is a lawyer. She works with Ben Crump, as some of y'all know, and she's on the Shankilla Robinson case. I wish they would have asked her about it. Maybe we'll see it in part 2. I really wish they would have asked her about that. But anyway, they show Sue Ann's package, and they talk about her connections with Blake. She said her and Blake, they started talking from the very beginning of the show, and that's how they could form a connection. She also talked about her connection with Anthony, and she liked his dance moves, but he didn't go after her enough, and they only have a short amount of time. He wasn't like aggressive enough in the process. And so nephew Tommy asked Anthony, do you feel like you missed your opportunity when it comes to Sue Ann? He's like, no, I don't feel like it was a missed opportunity. I feel like, she ultimately gravitated to the person she wanted more, and that was a better fit. He feels like Sue Ann wanted his person, like her and Blake make more sense. I agree. I couldn't see Anthony and Sue Ann work. That doesn't sound and look like a match to me. So anyway, they also brought up the advocate Sue nickname that Jeffri gave Sue Ann. Sue Ann says she's not bothered about it because she's a lawyer. That's what she is. And like I just said, she clearly does a lot of advocacy work. She works in civil rights as a lawyer, so of course. Also, side note, I was watching TGIF with Funky Dineva and Al Reynolds and Claudia Jordan last night, and they were talking about the Shankilla Robinson case, and they were talking about Sue Ann, and Funky Dineva said Sue Ann was his good friend. So I was like, oh, that's small world. I know, they all live in Miami. Well, Funky Dineva and Sue Ann live in Miami, so I was like, oh, that's so random that they're friends too. So anyway, that's just a little side note for y'all. So back to the reunion. So then they asked, nephew Tommy asked Sue Ann, who are you, dating anyone now? She said, I'm in a relationship with Blake right now. I knew they got together. I'm so happy for them. I wish they would have let them stay to the end and do the theme song because they deserve to do it. Because they really went through the process and found each other. They should not have been eliminated early on, in my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that down in the comments, though. So, anywho, she said, they've been dating, and they live like 10 minutes from each other's house. She got some stuff at his house, and Blake said, yeah, we're good. We're just trying to figure out the day-to-day now. Like, what does home look like? What does this look like? And so, I'm glad to see they made it to the end. So, that's kudos for them. I'm happy for Blake and Sue Ann. I ain't got no hard feelings against Blake. He is off-putting, a little condescending, but I like seeing him and Sue. If it works for Sue Ann, it works for Sue Ann. I ain't hating on it. Sue Ann's wig looked good tonight, too. Good for you, Sue Ann. That wig looked good, girl. So anyway, then I believe we got to the final package at this point, y'all, with the whole love triangle between Morgan, Tony, and Lyndon, right? I don't know why I was blanking on his name. So they showed the package of the love triangle, and so nephew Tommy asked, well, first of all, nephew Tommy, I don't know if it was this point in the episode or earlier in the episode, when they talk about the kiss between her and Lyndon, Tony hadn't seen the kiss yet, and he said, like, that was earlier. Okay, so let me backtrack. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know how I do. So earlier when they did the Lyndon package, Tony said that, he didn't know that Morgan and Linda shared that kiss, and that did make him feel uncomfortable. And I was thinking, you ain't with this lady, so why does it bother you, sir? But anyway, back to, where we at, right? So nephew Tommy asked Morgan, what was it about Lyndon? What was it about Tony? She's like, Lyndon, there's just so much I can say about him. He's just amazing, all that. But like Tony, he was just like, come here, woman. He was aggressive, and I couldn't fight that. And Mercedes is like, you love who you love. Speaking of Mercedes, she irritated me when Kayla was on stage. Let me backtrack to gear real quick. So when backstage, Mark Anthony was like, okay, so is Kayla on here for some airtime, or is she really, finding love? Like, what's good? Mercedes was like, no, because she was really looking for love last season. I said, Mercedes, you don't know what that girl was looking for. You wasn't there. I know they be knowing each other and stuff, but I was like, girl, stop. Now, I like you, Mercedes, but stop it. So anyway, I just wanted to remember to say that part. So we gotta talk about the backstage show. It's like 2 shows in one with this reunion, right? So anywho, so Morgan's talking about what she likes about both guys. Her and Tony connected on that spiritual level at first, and that's what they really had going on and all that good stuff. And so he asked, well, why didn't you ultimately pick Tony? Like, why did you choose yourself? And so she said, I noticed some things about Tony just wasn't right, and I came on here a whole woman, and I didn't want anyone to take that away from me. I said, a whole woman? Girl, the way you cutting up all season, the way you didn't talk bad about people, putting their hair down to the hair, and the way you finna go off on Marcia next week? No. The way you dragged Natasha for 2 episodes? Nah, you ain't whole. You got some work to do, ma'am. So Morgan, you're a very pretty girl, but I want more for you, girl. I want more. This ain't it, sis. This ain't it. So she said that, Tony, she was just saying all this stuff about Tony, and she ultimately said, but that's why she still, because we did have a real connection, and Tony said that, well, first of all, Morgan said that she still felt comfortable dating him outside the process. So they were like, girl, what? And everybody backstage was like, girl, what? So then Tony was like, yeah, Morgan hit me up, and she said, like, we didn't really get to date. So Morgan was sharing that, they didn't build a friendship first. Her and Lyndon built more of a friendship first, and her and Tony didn't. They were just so involved in the moving fast in the process, right? So Tony was like, yeah, she, wanted to say, we didn't go on dates, or you didn't get the flowers, so he wanted to step back and do that. But ultimately, he got caught up in the day-to-day of life and his kids and his work, so it began to be too much. And then Morgan's like, no, you're making excuses. Like, you knew what it was when you came on the show. You knew the process. Like, you said you had the 6 months plan. You want a family and kids. So that's BS. A man will make time for the things he wants. I think it was Jeffri or somebody over there was like, that's right, girl. That's right. So, she was like, nah, nope. So they was going back and forth. Tony was like, it is what it is. Like, this is just not working out. It's fine. So then nephew Tommy was like, okay, so ultimately, where do we stand today? Like, because at this point we was tied. Because Morgan, okay, this is how I felt, y'all. Let me know if you agree in the comments. Once Morgan had choose Tony, we was like, good for you, girl. Move on. Do better. But now to find out that you went on back to dating him afterwards, but are we really surprised? And then y'all still cutting up and arguing like this, and then the toxicity just played out all on the reunion, right? So let's get into it. So, like I said, nephew Tommy was like, so what's going on with y'all now? It's safe to say it's over. And Tony was like, yeah, basically this is me and Morgan. It's just a toxic situation. It's just not going to work. So there's a lot of toxicity. I was like, you ain't never lied, Tony. So, then she was like, ain't nobody toxic over here. This is Morgan. Morgan saying, ain't nobody toxic over here. My love is not toxic. Ain't nobody toxic over here. I was like, girl, all that energy is toxic. Calm down. So then she was like, you are just not a good person, Tony. You are just not a good person. And you need to be doing all this. You need to get help. You are like 2 different people. You need to get some help. Side note, at some point in the conversation, nephew Tommy, I asked Lyndon, why did you bring up the whole Marcia thing? And he said, he didn't mean to bring it out like that. However, Tony would be one way for the Morgan and a different way outside of Morgan. So he wanted to show people what it really was. And that's the reason when he did it. Tony was like, at the end of the day, I felt ganged up upon. Like, it was just the wrong place, the wrong time. Lyndon was like, copy that, he get that. And it was. But it made good TV. So anyway, back to Morgan and Tony arguing and fussing and fighting. At some point, Tony talking about, you missed your blessing. That's it. That's all. You missed your blessing. Morgan was like, boy, what? I will knock the mess out of you. Whatever she said. She started going off. She was like, please, like, well, you had a diamond in the rough right here. Like, then you missed it. You will never again have it. Like, it going off on him. She was like, you are a horrible person. You are a monster. So then Mark Anthony was like, across the sofa, Mark Anthony was like, come on, Mark, don't say that. Don't say that. She was like, you shut the hell up and you stay over there. I was like, why is she doing Mark Anthony like that, though? And then Marcia over there just looking like, girl. And so then she was like, do you think I would just say that out the blue? Do you think I would just say that for no reason out the blue? Like, come on, Mark Anthony, you think I would just say that? Marcy, what you think? You think I would just say that? Marcy was like, Marcy? Like, girl, you talking to me? And so then she's like, yeah, because you just standing over there looking at me. You just standing over there staring at me. And she was like, you think I would not just say out the blue? He is a horrible person. He has 2 different personalities. He needs to get help. She just going off. And so then they just arguing. Tony and Morgan just going back and forth. It was like, oh, it was like sad to watch and funny to watch at the same time, y'all. So then I don't even think they was done filming. I think they just jumped up out the blue. Morgan goes off backstage to go cry in the room. Tony follows her. Producers is all back there with their masks on. Morgan's like, I just need a minute, Tony. I don't want to talk right now. She's like, I'm just trying to talk to you, Morgan. I just need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. I feel like Morgan pokes Tony to the point to keep chasing her. And that's how we're just in this toxic cycle. Oh, they're just killing me with this. So anyway, he's like, I just want to talk to you. I just need to talk to you. She's like, no, I wanted to talk 6 weeks ago. And you weren't there for me to talk. No, I need a moment. So then they eventually show the door closing, and that's it on that. They showed us the previews. They're gonna talk about Natasha and Tony talking about Natasha told production that they slept together, and Natasha said Tony ghosted her, and Marcia and Morgan about to get into it. We gonna see what's good with Anthony and Cynthia. They ain't looking good, y'all. I'm kind of nervous on that one. Anyway, hopefully we get to see what the hell is going on with Mercedes and Morgan Anthony. Or did they date after she chose herself? Probably. Anyway, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I will talk to y'all soon. We'll see what happens next week. I look forward to it. All right, bye.